Yes. Yeah, the weather for the wedding was perfect. It was 72 and sunny, and and every now and then there was a wispy cloud, like somebody had streaked the sky with a paintbrush. Lightly
Happy
sweep.
little clouds.
Yes, exactly. So when the sun set, it made all the little wispy clouds all colors. It was beautiful. So, hi
Aw,
everybody.
Anita's here. Hello, Anita. We're virtually crashing the wedding.
Yes, yes. So the wedding's over. Now we have to get through the season. We have 3 more weeks up here after this. Yeah, to think. and and then we're home for the winter season. So
And then this Friday, Allie is getting married.
yes,
Speaking of wedding
yes,
season.
yes.
So
And
you
I'm
made it through
hoping. I,
your dramatic wedding.
I was gonna
I'm
say, I'm
hoping
hoping yours is just as much of a non-event on that side of the thing as ours was. So,
knock on wood. Yes,
yes,
yes. Because
yes.
that's been the thing. I'm so happy for my daughter, but I'm
Mhm,
dreading
mhm.
having to deal with certain people.
Yes,
And when
yes.
it's a family event, you end up having to deal with
Yeah.
certain people that you don't necessarily deal with because, you don't deal with those people
Well,
on a regular basis.
as I said last time, I had an in with the wedding planner. And she made it possible that we were at tables as far apart as possible there. I mean, there were 6 tables, so 3 and
Okay.
3. It was a very small wedding, but it was nice, and we finally met my daughter. Yeah, my daughter-in-law. I can say that now. Her father. I had met her mother before, but we
Okay.
hadn't met her father. Um, and I'm thinking that maybe I've got to do Duolingo like he's doing, but learn Portuguese because they both speak Portuguese because
Okay.
he lived in Italy and then Brazil. So
Very
she's from
cool.
she's from Brazil. So broken English, communicating with loud music. So it
Well,
was
that
kind
sounds
of
like
rough,
fun.
kind of rough, but
But the wedding was drama free.
from that
I like that
standpoint,
pause.
from
Maybe.
from from that standpoint, and anybody who's out there who's getting married, brides or grooms, if you do something during the day like golf, or go to the beach or wherever you are, hydrate. That is the lesson of the day.
Yeah, shouldn't your wedding planner have thought of that?
Well, the wedding planner was with the bride.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes, hydrate.
Speaking of that, I will make sure to pack some liquid IV with me
Yes,
because I will
yes,
be acting in that capacity.
yep, yeah. Especially if you're with your daughter, I was making sure the bride was drinking, and when she had the flutters of the stomach, I gave her, Pepsid AC and things like that,
Yep.
just to make sure that the stomach things were settled. And her mom had the stress uh, gummies. I
Ah,
don't, they were not, I don't believe they were cannabis,
okay.
but they were natural stress
Right,
gummies.
right.
So she gave her I think a couple of those during the day. And yeah, you
That
know.
makes sense. And that's kind
And
of, like I said, that's the capacity I'll be doing because
yes.
I'm coordinating getting us all over to our dressing area and getting
Hmm.
us ready prior to the wedding. So
Right. Yes. Oh
I will
yeah.
make sure I pack all that stuff with me.
Yeah, we were at Vicky's house. So, we were all there, and if I still lived in Tolland, our house would have been well, yeah, probably the stopping point. It was a little farther away from the wedding venue than Vicky's, but
We've got because she's getting married at one of the strip chapels.
yep.
They have a service, a limo service, but it's only 2 hotels within the strip. So
Okay.
my best friend who's coming in,
Yeah.
she's offered us to use her hotel room as our
Yeah.
staging ground. So that's where we're going prior
That's
to.
good. That's good. That's kind of cool. Yeah. And are the hairdressers going there, or you
Yes.
get it? Okay.
Yep. The hairdresser's going there. I will have everything brought over the night before so that we can all get dressed and we have everything. I've got to remember jewelry. I've got to remember. There's so many things that I need to remember to
Right.
bring with.
Oh yes. Yeah, oh yeah. Vicky had the rings, and my husband was the best man. And he was like, "Shouldn't I have the rings?" And this was, we were going to keep them after picking them up. And she's like, "No, no, no, no. I'm the wedding planner. I have the rings until the day."
Makes sense. Makes
And
perfect sense.
I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And he's like, but
Nope.
I'm waving. He's right over there, people.
Don't veto your wedding planner. Just they know what they're doing. It's literally their job.
Yep, yep. And she had her other wedding planner actually running the wedding, but it's kind of hard when Vicky's there.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So
yes, hydrate.
yes,
Good
yes,
point.
yes, yes.
What fun games did y'all do at the reception?
We didn't do any games.
Well, not
You mean
games, but like the money dance,
no,
the daddy-daughter dance,
yeah,
I'm trying to think of all the
we had the father-daughter dance, we had the mother-son dance, and we had the daughter-mother dance. And that was the one that, they did Dancing Queen, and then they waved everybody else up on the floor. And then
awesome.
we just danced like maniacs for an hour and a half. And it was an hour before the wedding ended that he went down. Yeah. Yeah. So, such is life. So,
But everybody
hydrate.
survived.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Hydrate.
I will say that at least 15 more times during the show today. I mean, Vicky had a Yeti at her house, like the 34-ounce or 35-ounce Yeti. I had 2 of those at her house.
Okay.
So I was well hydrated for the night. But it was also very hot when we were dancing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Was it all outdoors?
No, the ceremony was outdoors and the reception was indoors.
Okay.
And because the evenings are getting cooler, I don't know that they had the air running as high as they normally would do during the summer season.
Yeah.
We were not cold when we went in. That could have been some clue. But yeah, once we all got moving, it was hot.
Yep. Open bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The package that Vicky got for them was an anniversary package. Had open bar.
Okay.
So, yes.
Yep. Hydrate.
Yes. Yes. I think I didn't have any drinks. I think my husband had 2 during the evening.
Okay.
So, but it was like, that would have been too tempting.
I've got the same conundrum too. I'm like, do I drink? Do I not drink?
He drank.
Maybe best to not drink.
Yeah. It yeah.
loosens the tongue a little too much.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It strips the inhibitions. Completely. Although my sister-in-law did come up to me on the dance floor and said her and her son-in-law wanted to pet me because the dress is so soft.
Okay.
It was crushed velvet and it's just really soft. wanted to pet me. So there. But yes. So
Well, it sounds like it all went well.
yes, it did. It did.
I always
So
find that like those events, you can, at least this is the way I'm looking at it. Even if it's a very stressful event, it's something I can pull into for inspiration for drama and stories.
yes, yes, exactly.
Because, you know, it's back to the catharsis thing we've talked about many, many times. When you have a bad day, you kill somebody on paper.
Yep.
You can use
Oh yeah.
that drama and that interaction or the different interactions as ways for
Yes.
characters to interact later.
Yep. I mean, once the dancing started, I think I only sat down to have a little bit of the cake, and by that time, I think that's when Billy sat down to have some cake. So the sugar high, there was just some, sugar spikes too. um, but yeah, it was soon after that that he wandered out, and then more people, the bride comes in, somebody grabs somebody else, something's wrong.
It is fast paced at a wedding. There's so much
Yes,
going on, being drawn into many different areas. But if
I
you have a
yeah.
small wedding, is it the same thing? Like when it's a wedding of like 100 people or more, sure, it's easy to get lost in the crowd. But if it's like a 30 to 40 person wedding, there's less getting
Ours was
lost.
like 48, I think.
That's roughly what
Maybe
we're looking
even
at too.
maybe less than that. I think, 50 people were invited, but I think a few of them couldn't make it. So, um, we did have people from Paris and Brazil.
Oh, cool.
So, I was like, which one's farther away? Trying to figure that one out. But yeah, I think it was noticeable after that because a lot of people kind of exodus, you know. we were, we were there, Vicky was there. The ambulance came. Checked his vitals and
I
then
love how you're
left
just like
without him.
peppering in the details for everyone. Hydrate.
Yes.
Although, you know, that's a good story to tell later. That was some wedding night if you have to have the ambulance come save you.
Yeah. Yep. Hmm. I mean, we felt so bad for him, but up until that point, it was phenomenal. And they got the ending, they got the wedding night where they wanted to, so it all worked
All
out.
worked out.
It's just a little while of chaos and
A
the
lovely
fear.
wedding and then the ambulance.
Well, it's better than the police.
I don't know. The police might be more fun.
I mean, thankfully we did have an emergency room nurse attending. So
Okay. So you were
and
covered.
yep, and they had to do the ambulance to cover the place.
Okay.
So there's, if somebody faints.
Yep. Liability. Gotta, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So now did he drop on like the dance
No,
floor or did he drop like in private? Like, I'm not feeling good,
private.
go off to another room and okay.
Yep. Yeah. 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 That's exactly how it happened.
Like, because if he just dropped on the dance floor there, that would be like pure drama right there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he recognized the signs of what was happening. So he's experienced some of it before.
Okay.
So he went and laid down and yeah.
So an hour's worth of maybe drama and then everything's back to normal.
Yeah, by that time most of the people had gone anyway, except for family and the wedding party.
Okay.
And some of the people had left earlier too. It's a school night, it's a work night. So,
Mm,
it made it a little easier in some cases in that respect.
sure.
So, I mean, we were out of there at 10:30. The wedding was supposed to be over at 9:30.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What time did it start?
5.
Okay. So we're about the same schedule because I think she's got the wedding's at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not sure if it's a full hour before we head over to the reception hall or not. I
Okay.
have to double check the details.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the reception hall for a couple hours.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because that was all in the same facility. So 5 to 9:30 was the block.
Okay.
And the bride's videographer came to the house probably 45 minutes later than they really should have, but they had a certain window of hours too, because that made us a little bit late getting there. So the wedding was supposed to start at 5. I think it started at like 5:10, so not too bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, you know, the first look was supposed to happen at 3:15. It's a 40-minute ride from the house, and we left. Vicky left at 3 with the bride because it took that long to taper up and get her in her dress. And
oh, I should mention too, we've got a live streaming link for Allie's wedding.
Ooh, yeah, send it to me.
I will send that to you because the chapel, that's one of the package parts that she wanted to go for.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have that.
Yes.
I'm excited for her and Devin. I love them both. They're adorable. They're a cute couple.
Fixate on that.
Yes.
That's what I did. I just said, this is their day. It's all about them.
and I've got a babysitter. My best friend is going to be there, so she'll be my babysitter. I'm not going to be alone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She'll be able to rein me in if I say something.
Yep. My parents and my sister were there, so I had the emotional support. So
yes. It's all about her. It's her day. They're gonna have a good wedding. It's gonna be gorgeous. I cannot wait. The tie that I bought for Devin, he's gonna wear. He was originally not going to wear it because the original venue hosts were against anything that might be nerdy chic, and these kids are nerdy chic. That's what they are. That's their style. And it was a lavender tie to match the wedding colors, but it had all of the Legend of Zelda characters in the tie. And he wasn't going to be able to wear it, but now he can. So I can't wait to see it all put together.
Yeah, all the socks that the guys had were different, and Russell's had. Were Russell's Pokemon?
Oh,
I think Russell's had Pokemon on them. So my son picked them all out, and that was a little. Darren had golf clubs on them. Somebody else. Oh, maybe. I think somebody else had Batman. So it was.
That's the thing. It's their wedding.
Yep.
It should reflect their style.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's what you want. It's the joining of two people, and you need to show their style. It's their day. The original wedding hosts were very much this is our style, and everything will be done in our style.
Okay.
That doesn't take into account, what the actual bride and groom wanted.
Yeah, Russell didn't really like his suit, but he looked cute as anything. He was just like this little man at 5 years old. Russell and Katie were the only two kids, so a 5 and a 2.5-year-old.
We've got the groom's sister as one of the flower children.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe will be one of the flower children. They both have the same dress.
Oh, cool.
And then I think Hunter is the ring bro.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Well, Katie, while we were getting ready, she got her dress on. Her hair was all nice and perfect. And then she wanted the blue push-up popsicle.
Oh, no.
We said, no. We made her put on her jean jacket, which covered most of her dress, and then had that. So she was all happy. And then she had that. And then she was playing with her brother, and she was rolling underneath her bed. So her lovely, crisscrossed hair was now a mess again, and mommy had to do it
Oh
again. At least nobody actually did her hair besides Becky. but it was just like, no, you don't roll under bed, because she's got a trundle bed, and the trundle was out because other people were sleeping in her room versus, she was sleeping with Russell. So so yes, she's like, this open space to roll around,
no.
whatever.
Doesn't matter if you're wearing a pretty dress. You're just still a kid.
Yes.
Speaking of that, I haven't figured out what to do with Zoe's hair. And so Devin's little sister dyed her hair purple.
Okay.
Gorgeous shade. And it goes with the whole wedding colors anyways. I
Yeah.
love it. And I was like, oh, why don't we do that to Zoe's hair? Zoe's done purple before. All of a sudden,
Right.
Zoe doesn't like purple anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with her hair.
I know. It's tough.
I was like, but you guys are both the
Let's
flower
see.
girls. It would be so cute if you guys had matching hair. Nope. She went full diva on that one. Don't like purple anymore, Mom. All right, fine.
I mean, yeah. This is what Vicky did with Katie.
Ooh, pictures. Yes, let's see
Share
pictures.
screen. Yes. Hold on. Window. This is getting ready. So this is my daughter. See, her hair was so beautifully done. This is Katie. This is my Katie.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. Yeah, it didn't look like that when we left. That was way too early to get that done.
Oh,
no. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And when she was picked up, she had been napping, so her nap was interrupted.
Oh no.
So, oh yes, so she was a tiny terror at the house, but she fell asleep on the way to the venue, and seemed to get her bearings back.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
At least she had recovery time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Absolute. I mean, it was nice. And then for those who haven't seen pictures of me, this was the dress that people wanted to pet.
So, yes, let's see. Let's see.
Look them up. Let's see. I'm getting there. It's taking a moment.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
See Elsa and look what's playing on the TV.
Oh, I
In the
love
background.
that.
Can you see it?
I love that.
Yes.
Is the cloak
Yes.
part of the dress?
It was yes, this is all part of the dress.
That's
So it's
really
it's
cool.
basically a sleeveless dress, but those are the sleeves. So in the back
Okay.
it's not really cloaked, it's all one piece. So
That's pretty.
yes, it was very, very comfortable. Yeah, thank you. And it was soft, so people wanted to pet it.
If it's crushed velvet, I can see why. It looks soft
Yes.
and fluffy
Huh?
and nice.
Oh yes, we're live, honey. We aren't talking about writing yet.
Hey, we're pulling inspiration here.
Yes,
this is all
exactly.
inspiration.
Exactly. Yes. He can't hear it because he's doing the dishes.
I think your dress and my dress are the same color.
Like an ink blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I went with extreme sparkles. I think I've got a
Okay.
problem because I'm not a girly girl.
Okay.
So I rarely, if ever, wear dresses, but I chose, well, I shouldn't say I chose it because I had 3 dress options and Allie picked this one of the 3.
Okay.
And it is like a deep indigo blue with lace overlay and sparkles.
Well, that's okay. For
It's very
Vicky's wedding, I was a bit more sparkly. For this one, I knew it was going to be, it was a crapshoot here, whether it's going to be cold or warm, because
Okay.
Connecticut can be hot in September and it can be very cold. It depends on the year. And this year it's been kind of chilly anyway.
Okay.
So having it be 72 and beautiful was wonderful. If it had been a little colder, I still would have been fine with that dress. If it was 80 or 90, I would have been sweating bullets.
It's going to be warm this week. We're going to be heading back to the 90s again.
Yeah.
So my dress, while it is floor length, because originally I was told it was going to be formal. So
Yeah.
it is floor length.
Yeah.
But it is spaghetti strap.
Okay.
So my best friend's bringing me a shrug to wear in
Yep.
case I need it.
Yeah.
Underneath it, again, not a girly girl, I have basically combat boots.
Okay.
I have fancy combat boots.
I had very sparkly shoes. I did have very sparkly shoes. So
I didn't get it altered, so I needed the height.
Yep.
And it's still a little long, so I'm going to have to be careful with it.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the boots provide lots of stability and a good chunky heel.
Yep. Yep. Well,
so I'll be able to move.
Because I wear a size 2.
Oh, TV.
Yep. Mine were, the children's sparkly shoes. So the closed rounded
perfect.
toe,
That's
and then
perfect.
the little heel on the back, and it had pearls around the ankle, which, that was the strap around the ankle. So it was
Okay.
really pretty, but, by the end of the night, I didn't prep with Band-Aids on my heel. So one of my heels was just a little bloody at the end of the night.
I'm operating with the assumption that no one is going to see my feet.
Yep.
So I'm going to wear something that gives me the height I need and the comfortable mobility.
Yes. Well, the bride had the shoes she wore up to the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And then she changed into white sneakers, fancy white sneakers that she had gotten too. So she was wearing that in for
That's what Allie's doing too. She's going for sneakers after, which is the smart move.
Yes. So yeah, I have to factor a wedding into. Well, I've done weddings in my books. I've actually had in the Ryan Chronicles, the place that the wedding takes place in the Ryan Chronicles was the one that my daughter actually looked at one point in time in Maine, in this town, York, Maine.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I've walked through it. I know this thing, so I can do some of the wedding stuff. So I did have a wedding in that book. The other wedding I did was in a short story between Nighthawk and Tigress. I did their wedding because Nighthawk sort of ended, and I got a lot of complaints about what happens next.
Oh.
That my ending was too abrupt. So
okay.
Now there's a short story at the end of Nighthawk. And it is the wedding between the two of them. And of course he's a vampire.
Okay.
And so is she. So it has to be a midnight wedding. And it's in Denver. So
okay.
Have you ever written any wedding scenes?
I don't think I have written wedding scenes, but I have written party scenes.
Okay.
Where you've got a large gathering of people that know each other and that interaction.
Yeah, I had to research wedding venues in Denver, in the Denver area. So I've done that, and
that's what you do.
So it is fun to because you have to be able to see and I love Google Maps. I love Google Maps because of that. Because you go in and especially when you do the landscape thing, and you can zoom in and see things, and so
yeah, Google Maps has been my friend for a while.
But yeah, yes, that actual visuals instead of the map itself.
It's super helpful. It's super helpful because once you see where it is, you can plan your routes. You can see where people are walking, where they're moving, where they could hide. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, parts of Vengeance were written in a scene in Italy. I don't think I still have them in there because those were some things that I chunked out because it didn't make a whole lot of sense to have them. But I had to zoom in on the Italy things and find roads and find hotels and find where this takes place and where fashion shows take place versus this because my assassin went there to kill somebody in the fashion industry. So
there you go. An assassin's got to know the lay of the land. They got to know all the hidey holes.
Exactly. When I had the assassin's point of view in the book, that was one of the things that I trimmed down or took out completely.
That's right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So, it didn't lose its value. So that was interesting. But that's where writing pure fantasy is quite nice because you don't have to get the marks right. The landmarks, yeah.
But you can definitely walk down a street that you wouldn't normally be able to with Google Maps.
Right. Exactly. Well, I'm finally back to editing.
Yeah.
I edit a few pages, then I read. And then I edit, and then I read. because I'm doing deep editing. I'm waiting for a couple beta readers to get back to me and hope they get back to me in time. They're supposed to have it done by the end of the month, but they haven't started it, so.
End of the month is coming up quick.
Yep.
We got 1 week left.
I know. And I really would like some feedback on it, but if they don't get to it, they don't get to it.
Oh. Yeah, because you have to have time to take the feedback and do something with it.
Right. Well, I was pretty quick with the other book. When I got feedback, I went back in and said, yes. Yeah, for most of it was like, yeah, I got to address that. Or I had already addressed it because they've got the raw first draft.
Okay.
So in Story Origin, I like that system.
That confirms then that you were on the right track if you've already addressed it.
Yes.
Once you've got the feedback and it matches.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
thing.
oh yeah, there was a handful of things I'm like, oh yeah, I probably need to do that. And as I went through, I've already read it once on my Kindle, and I went through and I'm like, oh, this is inconsistent. So it was good to do that because I kind of wrote it piecemeal.
Okay.
So before the trip and after the trip,
2 different mindsets.
Yes, exactly.
That changes things.
So, and I had to add in a little bit more of the stuff I learned anyway.
Okay.
While I was in Alaska.
I'm dealing with some feedback right now where, and I think they just read it too fast to properly absorb the information, but I can tell that they are missing some pieces and their feedback has to do with the pieces they're missing. So I'm constantly having to go back and and this is in the professional standpoint. So I'm getting notes from a higher editor.
Yeah.
I'm constantly having to go back and go, nope, this was referenced on page 59. This was referenced here. This was referenced there. It's like, it's not helpful feedback if you are, the above editor coming back and the questions you're asking show me that you didn't actually read the story.
Right. Exactly. Or you did it piecemeal and forgot what you read. Which is part of my issue with what I wrote, because remember I wrote the beginning and the ending separate,
and then you bridged them.
And I'm trying, and I was trying to bridge, and in the bridge I had some inconsistencies, and but I fixed all the inconsistencies before I uploaded to Story Origin for the beta read. So
now, if you upload something, let's say you can do a call for beta readers, and you upload that first version.
Yeah.
And you go back a week later and you're like, oh, I made these corrections, and you upload a new version. Do they get notified of the new version, or do you have to let them know that, hey, there's a more updated version if you haven't already started?
Because they didn't start, they hadn't started it, or to my knowledge, they hadn't started it. I just deleted everything and reloaded.
Oh, okay.
There is a function that says new version, and you can do it chapter by chapter, which is, a pain in the ass, but
Yeah, it's got pluses and minuses when you go chapter by chapter.
right, exactly. So, because when you load up the whole story, you have to find the chapters and mark them, and that separates them that way. So, which is really nice in that manner. And I like the fact that Story Origin has the ability for them to do inline comments
Okay.
and end of chapter comments.
Okay.
So it's got some versatility in that, where you can say, oh, you said blue here, you meant, they had brown eyes up here. Which one is it? Something like that.
No, that is very helpful,
Yeah,
especially when you pinpoint exactly where this came from.
right. And the person who did the Witch Assassin didn't realize they had inline comments until about halfway through, and she was all excited about that. So if you're beta reading on Story Origin, you can do both. Which that's the only way I'll do it at this point,
And Nita
Yes,
says
they
the
are.
inline comments very helpful. Yeah,
Yes.
no, they are.
Yeah.
Because once you get to the end and trying to make comments on things, you're gonna miss stuff, you're gonna forget stuff. But as you're reading and you hit something that snags you right there, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
note that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot more helpful in the moment comments than if you're trying to just lump it all together at the very end.
Exactly. And I usually tell them it's a rough draft. Do not worry about spelling.
Mm-hmm.
And if grammar is really offensive, let me know. But
that stuff all ends up getting fixed.
Or there's like a half sentence, let me know. but for the most part, just carry on forward.
Yeah, because a lot of times if you're noting something and it gets fixed, it changes the whole sentence, paragraph, what have you, that would have had the original mistake in it. So
yeah, because this, and I'm going through and I'm doing the layers that, on this pass that I'm doing right now. So it's the emotional beats, the descriptions of the places and physical descriptions and the things that, aren't really in the bare bones. There are some, but it's not meaty. So, yeah. But I threw up the bare bones because I'm like, is there any inconsistencies in the storyline versus, the depth of it? And when I get home, I actually have to send a physical copy of Ancient Goddess to the beta reader I had for that. So hopefully they haven't sent them the books back, because we haven't been to the post office since last Saturday.
You've been busy.
And won't be there until either Tuesday or Wednesday, depends on what day we go home. So
yeah, you've been busy.
Yep.
I'm currently working on a project where I was told I need to be nice, and I think I am being nice in my critiquing comments, but it's very clear that the writer did not do research. And that affects a large portion of the story. Because when they don't research, let's say, a particular weapon they're using, the weapon changes how they can do things, what they can do.
Oh, yes.
And so it feels like they just picked a weapon out of a hat and decided that's the weapon they're using. And as the story progresses, I keep running into issues like, well, if I knew this part, this wouldn't be this way. If I knew this part, this wouldn't be this way. And I'm trying to be nice, trying to be diplomatic, trying to not hurt people's feelings. But it's very important that they had done their research prior to writing 60,000 words, because they're going to have lots of rewrites to go with it.
Yeah, when I wrote a scene for Saving Face, I reached out to a ex-police officer friend of mine and read it to him and said, is that viable? How would it be viable if it's not? And he explained some things to me, and I had to change things up because, so.
Yep.
Shout out to
Yeah.
John for that.
And think about it from a mystery standpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
The weapon makes a big difference in solving the murder.
The weapon, the in because Saving Face is a mystery. It's a, FBI procedural type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make sure that the killer could get away with it. Get away without leading anybody to it. And I said, how? And he said, well, anybody, if it's a stream, because initially I had it in the woods, not near any water. And he's like, no, that'll leave, this. If there's a stream, it could make it much more difficult.
Yep. Yeah, you have to look at everything.
Yep.
One simple decision makes a huge difference when you have to factor in everything surrounding it.
Yep. And in Georgia Rain, I had footprints at the end, but nothing around where somebody was kidnapped because it was the Georgia mud, and it sucks, and it just sucks it all in. So there's no real footprints. So,
I'm imagining that sound too. You know the sound I'm talking about. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
So it is, and arterial bleeds, how fast certain ones bleed out. What are the patterns? Thankfully, my sister did forensic. She taught a forensic class in high school, so
nice.
I got
good
all
resource.
The forensic slides.
Yes.
And every year she did like a blood splatter thing to try to have the kids figure out what happened. It was really kind of cool.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah. So when you're writing murder mysteries, yes, yeah. Having friends in the police force, friends in the emergency room, things like that are critical to run things by.
Yeah.
And research.
It's important. Of course, it's so important.
Researching some of this stuff online is not cool.
Yeah, don't look at my search history. Just don't.
Yes. Are you a writer? Yes, I am. See my search history.
Yep.
So, no, I'm dealing in, but even with fantasy, you've got the sword fighting, you've got the, magic. Yes, you can heal things, but I've used liquid Band-Aid or liquid bandages twice now in books.
Good old super glue works too in a pinch.
Exactly. Yep. So
I had to school someone on swords because they wanted a specific sword to be used in the story. And I asked them, do you want it to be a functional sword or do you want it to be an ornamental sword? Because that's going to be a big difference.
Yep.
And they wanted a functional ornamental sword. I'm like, God damn it. Let me explain to you how a sword works first. You can either have one or the other. You're not going to have both, okay? Not with what you're trying to do with it.
Right, exactly. And the grip and, even archery, that, that's another thing.
Oh yeah, I'm dealing with an archery issue too. That's fun too. I'm like, okay, what kind of bow do you want? Just a bow. No, there's different kinds of bows. They look different. They're used differently. They require different amounts of strength. Yes. Give me some details here. I need to know what we're working with.
Exactly. Yep. Oh yeah. No, I just want a crossbow. But even that.
Yeah. And you really do. You have to do all your research. You have to have, it's got to be rooted in the reality for it to be functional, even if it's a fantasy story.
Right. I mean, thankfully, a friend of mine took me shooting too. He he's like, "Oh, you're writing FBI stuff? You want to come shoot?" And I said, "I would love to learn to shoot." And that gave me such a big respect. Well, I was good. I was pretty accurate with the 22, which is the smallest caliber. The rest of them, I was just wildly off.
But you learned how to hold it. You learned what it felt like in your hands. You learned what the recoil felt like.
Yes.
All
and the
good
sound
information.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Did you get to use a suppressor?
No. No,
That
he
one was
didn't have a
fun. I have
suppressor.
a friend who was so giddy the first time he got his suppressor out and wanted to show it off and took us to the range.
Yeah.
She was like, "You gotta see, you gotta see." Like, okay. But yeah, it's all good information. You got to know it.
Yep, exactly. You do. You do. And it makes the story more authentic.
Oh, what is Anita saying?
Like
I
this.
did research on swords. Two-handed, one-handed. Still don't have a definite answer.
Whether a
Depends on the sword.
particular sword. Yep.
It depends on the sword. Depends on, well, one, how was it made? If it
Yep.
was made to be a two-hander, it's going to obviously have a longer hilt. It can still be a shorter length sword, but if the hilt was made to have two hands holding
Two
it,
hands.
then it's going to be a two-hander. Some swords are kind of in between where you can use it one-handed or two-handed. Again, it's going to depend on length. It's going to depend on the width of the blade. But yeah, if you figure out what the sword is being used for, you can kind of work backwards from there. I love swords. One of my favorite anti-trope things is the whole women can't wield swords. They're so heavy. Do you know how much a sword actually weighs? A functional long sword is not going to weigh more than 3 or 4 pounds.
Right. Right.
Yes, swinging it, you're working with the leverage against your muscles, and it does feel heavier, but it's not heavy. It is really not heavy. The heaviest sword, which is one that was actually used to kind of sweep away the people in front of you, is about 7 pounds. And that's one of the heaviest swords out there. Most long swords, about 4 pounds at max.
Okay.
An obscure Venetian sword. Okay. And I'm assuming if it's a Venetian sword, it's probably a more slender blade too. They tended towards the rapiers more than, let's say, like your Vikings or the knights had the big broader swords.
Yeah.
The Vikings had the broad but short swords. The Romans, the gladiuses were definitely short, like flat, wide blades. So it really depends on what it was used for, where it came from. But yeah, I love swords. That's my fun area to play with.
I know you probably have them on your wall.
I have one back here. Yeah, there's one sitting back there. I have one right next to my bed.
Yeah.
Yes, I sleep with a sword next to my bed.
Well, hey.
I'm not a weirdo.
Rapiers were later.
Okay, so we're going further back. Okay. If you get a picture, send it to me. I'd love to see what you're talking about.
Yes.
Every different time period does have its different style of blade that was used. And they all had a certain functionality, which is why the blades were the way they were.
Yes.
And what materials were available to them at the time.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I do like the katana though.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Oh yes.
Those are beautiful.
Those are sweeping and yes, they're dainty but deadly. There you go.
I also like the jian, which is another dainty, slender but long blade. Those are very nice to work with. The Tai Chi practice that goes with them is beautiful to watch.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, know what you're working with, people. Do your research, because that changes everything that your characters can do or can get away with.
Yes. Yes. Having a long sword is not good for close contact either. Actually,
long swords can be useful in close contact. There is a grappling technique to it once you get in close quarters. So, the cross guard, right?
Yeah.
So when you've got the sword in your hand, right? Yeah. And long swords are typically two-handed, but you can take it one-handed, grab the blade with the other, and then you've got that cross guard, which is a blunt punch right to the head with it. You can pound them on top of the head with the pommel. So there's a grappling technique that works in close with the longsword, should you get that close. A lot of the different styles of your guards and the way you swing the blade, if they're in too close, you're gonna lop off their head, or at least get a nice deep cut in there.
Yeah. Yeah, because in my Valkyrie one, I do have a situation where she actually gets closer to avoid being beheaded.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of fighting, is
because
controlling the distance.
yeah,
Yeah,
her
you
technique
control
is
the
like,
distance, you control the
yeah,
fight.
exactly. So
So yeah. And if
yeah,
they don't have the ability to move in the way they want to, then yeah, you've got an advantage.
exactly. So that was an interesting, because I'm like, okay, I have to figure this out.
And that's play fighting. I do that as an example when I teach at Combat Con.
Yeah.
Let's play act the scene out, because if you go through the motions and you see what they're doing and act as the character, you
Yeah.
can feel out that fight a lot better, and you can be more descriptive once you know what's going on and you're in the move, in the moment. What is this? The sword my character has?
Shivanessa.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that because I will screw it up. But I'm going to go look it up in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, research fodder.
Yes. Yes. Well, I could have bastardized the name like left and right, but that's what it sort of sounded like to me.
Shivaneska? Yeah, I can't say it. I'll probably screw it up and get yelled at. But possibly. I'm going to be looking that one up now, because now I'm interested.
Yeah.
So like I said before, I'm looking forward to this event. One, happy for my daughter. Two, research fodder, right? Real time.
Yeah, exactly.
Human observation,
interactions
research.
And how people. Yes, actually, but being there and yes.
See, and I know Anita does her research.
Yes, she does. She does.
We're all from that school of let's get it right.
No. Oh yeah, we are.
I think a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of new authors, because it's not just new authors, but I think some authors do kind of just lean on the fact that, oh, it's fantasy, it won't matter. It does matter. It does make a difference.
Yeah. The whole, fighting thing. That's why I sent the scene in our book to Billy and his sensei and say, does this make sense?
Yeah.
And there was one thing Billy said, you might want to do this instead. So I did. So
yeah, it's, if you want your readers to be there with the character and be able to, move with the character, flow with the character as something's happening, it's got to be grounded in some reality for them to follow.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And if you're writing mysteries, you definitely have to get all of your details right, because forensics can do all kinds of fun things now.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Uh-oh, I'm getting tired over there.
Yeah, a yawn and a cough together. Yes. Hydrate. It makes you stay awake better. I was woefully not hydrated today. I was not. I looked up and I'm like, oh, I really haven't had any water today. This was at like noon. Like, oops, normally by now I'm done with one of those.
Gotta do that, gotta hydrate.
Yeah, and it has to be every day. You can't say I had it yesterday.
Man.
I know. Yeah, this adulting thing sucks sometimes.
Yeah, can I opt out of being an adult again?
I know.
Go back to being a kid. Kids have more fun.
Yes, they do. Well,
I tell my kids that all the time. Like, don't be in a hurry. Adulting sucks.
Yes. Yeah, it was so funny the first time I got the text of adulting stinks. I have to figure out meals every day. I have to figure out what to eat. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yep. That girl dinner thing, though, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I love that trend right now. It's going around the girl dinner, the crazy foods that we just eat because we're not cooking.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody had posted something. I think it was like not ham, but it was something like ham and a Red Bull. And I was like, yeah, and I'm over here eating beef jerky and having a Red Bull too.
cheese and crackers and pepperoni.
Yeah, something like
slices. That. Yeah, but that's got the protein and the okay.
That's why charcuterie boards get so popular. We were raised on Lunchables, okay?
Yes. Uh, yeah,
Okay. Yep.
and cooking is not my forte.
I don't want to cook anymore.
we,
Like,
we
especially when you've got people in the house that are all picky and don't want to eat the same things.
mhm.
Because Zoe's still a vegetarian. We're going on 2
Okay,
years now. She's still a vegetarian. I was
okay.
like, at first I thought this is a phase,
Does
it'll
she
pass. We'll play
does she
along.
eat vegetables?
Yes,
Okay, well that's
she,
good.
she
Vegetables and
does eat
pasta
some
and
vegetables,
pizza. So
but
vegetables, pasta, pizza.
yeah, she loves spaghetti. That's like one of her favorites.
Okay,
She
yeah.
will eat tomatoes by themselves. She will eat celery. She will eat carrots by themselves. So, I mean, we can get her
Okay, so
different foods.
you do have stuff like that. I
Yes.
had the daughter. I had the daughter that ate spaghetti,
Uh-huh.
pizza, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese
No
is a
meats,
staple.
no meats, no vegetables, and maybe only bananas for fruit.
Oh,
And
no.
she still eats like that. But she at least cooks you know, for her kids or yeah, when she has groups over, she does cook normal things and she's a fantastic cook,
Well, good.
but she doesn't eat it.
No.
She'll have pasta with sauce on
Hmm.
it.
But then you've got
And
Hunter who eats buttered noodles, does not like
okay.
sauce.
Yep. And then I had Billy who eats chicken nuggets. And then spaghetti and pizza were the two things that the three of them or the two of them ate. But
Yep.
yeah, he ate chicken nuggets and he still eats chicken nuggets.
Our staple is
I'll have
corn
a
dogs.
hamburger. Yeah, I'll have a hamburger and things like that. But yeah,
Yeah, so
and
cooking is just
meatballs and
annoying.
yep. Especially when all the kids do not eat the same thing, and you're like, well, if you have spaghetti, at least you could give him buttered noodles.
And I do. And I do. He
Yeah.
gets a bowl of buttered noodles. It's, yeah.
Billy didn't like mac and cheese.
Now,
Vicky
see,
lived
that is
off
the
it.
constant. That one
Yes.
everyone will eat, but it's got
Yep.
to be a specific mac and cheese.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yes. Yep. Yeah. The deluxe mac and cheese, both of my kids will eat, but the powdered stuff, my son won't eat.
Like, come on, guys, give me a break here. Nope,
Yeah.
it's got to be the specific one. That's it. Don't even try and sneak it in because they
And
will not.
and now that Kraft mac and cheese has changed the elbow noodles to be sort of like grooved, Vicky won't eat it with that. She'll get regular non-grooved things and cook them and put the sauce in it.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. I yeah. I know the I have the queendom of Vicky eaters. So I know your plight.
Yeah. So I get to the weekends and I say I eat like a toddler because I don't
Yeah.
cook. If
Yep.
there's no reason for me to cook. If I don't have anybody I'm cooking for, I don't want to waste the time on a big meal.
Right.
So I eat like a toddler. I have chicken nuggets. I have
Yep.
mozzarella sticks.
Fast and comfort. Fast and comfort.
And now that Allie has found her apartment, they moved into their new apartment, got all settled in. Now
Mhm.
she's not here to cook either because her and Devin, they cook.
Yeah.
They love cooking. They like coming up with new recipes and stuff. So while they were living here over the summer, they were cooking good foods. Now I'm
Mhm.
back to eating like a toddler because they're gone.
Mm. Yeah, we got fish for tonight, and the only way I knew how to cook it was to put it in tin foil with butter and pepper.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wanted it breaded, and I'm like, well, how about it?
Yeah, go for it.
And
Enjoy.
he did a fantastic job.
Okay.
So
Well, good.
he's actually more creative in the kitchen, or historically has been more creative in the kitchen. He's worked in restaurants and stuff too, so but I do the grocery shopping, so
We all play our parts.
yeah, I should check things though before I go grocery shopping. Like, yeah, I have to go back again because I kind of said no. I said I saw the thing, but I didn't pick it up and look at it.
Oh,
It didn't have a lot in it, so I got to go back. But yeah, and it's funny because having two places, and I did this before we moved to New Hampshire. Having two places, I think I need something in one of the places. It's at the other place that I need it. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I think we have that. No, it's up there that we have that, or not here, or or I have like three of the same things here because I've gotten it here three times in
oh, I've got that
the other
habit of I
place.
order one staple item. I swear every single time I do a grocery order, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter if we have it or not. I always order it, and I usually
yep.
have stockpiles because I always think I need it. I always feel like it's going to run out, so I always have it.
It's great with cookies to do that.
Again,
Not with
character
ketchup.
quirks you can add into
Yes,
your fiction.
yes, exactly. It's like,
Real life does definitely provide lots
yes.
of fodder for
Oh yes.
stuff to add into fiction. Well, on that note,
Yes.
we're going to be gone next week because next week it's my turn for the weddings.
Yes.
It's going to be a good wedding. It's going to be good. It's her day. She's going to have a wonderful day. Her and Devin are going to be the most adorable couple. I will definitely be posting pictures, and any
And
drama that unfolds will be used in a future book somewhere.
yes, yes. And I will check in on you like you checked in on me.
Sounds good.
Thank
And then we'll
you.
be back on, I believe, September 7th. Is that our
October.
next October? Oh my God. This year has blown by. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I
That's
blink and it's
okay.
another month. I don't even know where we are, but
Hmm.
we will be back
And
on the 7th,
and
and
I
we
have a
will
new
have
release between then and now and then. So
we'll be talking about that then.
yes, yes,
All right.
exactly.
Well, thank you
Exactly.
to everyone who's always hanging out with us. Anita, we love you because
Thank
you're
you.
always
Yes.
there bright and early as soon as we come online. We will be back soon. Everybody stay safe and have a great week.
Bye all.
Bye.